Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies football team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Eric Tilson and a few special Huskies. Coach, how we doing today?
Welcome back to the round
Yeshua,
table.
how we doing today?
I'm doing good.
Thomas, how we doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Biggest cast we've had on the show so far.
Well, it's a round table. You need more people at the round table.
That's true. And who else to have than the players who were responsible for every single touchdown last week and a big win over Unaka, too.
How about that?
We'll jump right into that. 44-6 win over Unaka. Huge win, which sets you up for two pivotal games down the road with Cosby and Cloudland now. From the opening kickoff to the final whistle, it was all Huskies. So take me through that win and how great of a win it was up there in Stony Creek.
I was pleased with execution. We did what we needed to do, went down and executed, and tried to throw out some things we hadn't necessarily done a whole lot of, so it was good to kind of work through that. But real pleased with execution, especially offensively. I was pleased with the offensive line. They did a great job protection and executing the run game. And then defensively, I think we handled the two-quarterback system pretty well. They did throw quite a bit at us formationally, and I thought we lined up well, played hard, and kind of what we said all year, when we handle our own business, we set ourselves up for success.
And defense, too, that's something I want to jump into first, because usually it's the offense we jump into first. And trust me, we'll get to the offense in just a second, having those two on there. But the defense forced 3 turnovers, held Unaka to only 117 total yards. Those 3 turnovers, you had a punt block by Brandon Weems, you had a fumble recovery by Leon Johnson, and Yeshua Vaught's pick 6, and then you could have had 4 with Jay Duffy's interception that got reversed also. The defense was all over them all night. You said that they handled the two-quarterback system well. Was it a great week of preparation that went into it?
I don't know, boys. It was a good week.
Yeah, it was a great week. It was a great week.
Practiced well and did a good job preparation, and we've talked all year about how we prepare, about how we play.
And then 232 total yards of offense. Seems a little low for the amount of points you were able to score, but I don't think there were too many possessions that you didn't score on.
We had a short field most of the night too, so we started on our side of the 50 quite a bit. So short field to work with, and again, just executed pretty well.
I mean, it seems exactly like that Georgia-Texas game the other night. You got the ball on their side or on your side of the field a lot, so it was easier to score for you all. And that win over Unaka also sets you up, as I mentioned, for the 2 pivotal games down the stretch with Cosby and Cloudland. You have the opportunity to do a lot of things that North Greene has never seen or hasn't seen in a long time. There's 3 things up there as of right now. You have the opportunity to win the first region championship in school history. You have the opportunity to win the most games in a single season. Right now it's 6. You have the opportunity to either tie that or surpass it to go to 7. And then you have the opportunity to host a playoff game for the first time in 13 years. So it's something that we had kind of hinted at when we did the preview edition all the way back in the first week of August. Here we are now 2.5 months later, and these things are actually possible now. And I know there's got to be a lot of excitement, not just for you all, but everybody else on the team, the coaching staff, and the fans here in Baileyton also. How great of a feeling is it knowing that all 3 things are still possible coming down to the wire?
This is why you play and coach football. It's having an opportunity like this, and we said it in practice yesterday. We're not just in a preseason meeting talking about what our goals are. We're sitting right here and at the end of the year saying it's time to do it. And we've done it all year. Now we just have to go out and go execute. So it's a pretty exciting time.
For you all, how exciting is it also? Because it's something that, like we mentioned, that North Greene really hasn't ever seen, and they haven't seen in a lot of years if they've even had the opportunity to see it. So for you all being the leaders on this team, how does it feel to be so excited to be able to set some records here at North Greene?
I mean, I think it feels great. I mean, especially with being at my senior year, seeing the previous years and that coming to this year and just seeing us get those goals accomplished, it's a pretty big deal.
It's a great opportunity to be able to come in with the guys every day and just continually get better each day in practice and be able to do something that's never been done here at the school. And that's something that'll be remembered forever here, so I think it's a really great opportunity for us.
It's something that you said in the post-game interview with Tate Russell also. Is it something that these boys are going to remember for the rest of their lives? Because these are probably the 2 most important weeks that they've ever had in football, coming down against the defending, I think, 9-time region champs now in Cloudland, and then Cosby, the team that just beat them for the first time in 9 years. So it's big not only that you have the opportunity to do these things, but the opportunity to beat both of the two other teams that are still in the race
Yeah,
coming down to it. It's not like
You cannot
beat
draw it up
one
any
of
better.
them, and then you've got maybe Hancock County or Unaka and then one of those others. You've got the opportunity to not only do these things, but to be able to knock off those other two teams that are in the hunt for it also. How much more exciting is it for that you have the opportunity to go against a Cloudland team that, for once, probably fears North Greene now?
You couldn't draw up a better move script.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. So, again, this is the exact reason why I came here, to have this opportunity, and then to watch the maturity from his freshman year all the way to now, to have a mature football team that has executed all year. And I've said this from the get-go. Coaches can't win a single game. They can sure lose them, but they can't win a single game. So these games that won have been done by these guys that put in the work, and especially these two right here going out and actually scoring the touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I'd say that they should be pretty excited. And the best part about all this is we don't have any of the pressure. This is just an exciting time for us. We're excited to go out and play. Pressure's not on us. So we'll apply the pressure to our opponents the next couple of weeks, and but we're definitely excited about it.
And without any pressure, it kind of lets you breathe easier too going into those games. And we'll talk about the Cloudland game in just a minute also. But we need to talk about the offense, as I mentioned. All of them, it seemed, the whole entire night. Every single touchdown was scored and responsible because of them. You had Thomas Darnell, who had 5 rushes, 103 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 63 yards in the air passing, and then a passing touchdown to Matthew Boyd, which was also his first
high school touchdown.
Receiving touchdown. And then you had Yeshua, who had that short 3-yard rushing touchdown. But you also had that 30-yard pick six also. Talk about the offense and what went well all night.
We kind of knew we'd been able to control the box, and because they are very athletic on the secondary, so that they were able to fly around, played a lot of man coverage, and we had some man indicators in this week. We're going to do some shifts and motions to kind of see what they were in, and just notice they were playing straight man the entire time. And at certain points, like, okay, they're giving us a run box, let's take advantage of it, and that's just kind of what we did. And so, and then he had his one rushing touchdown, but also he had that one called back that he had housed. But I mean, overall, we executed, especially really well up front. I don't believe he got touched all night, and I think our running backs they were getting their first contact about 5-6 yards downfield. So can't ask for a better night there. And then. But they gave us some fits in the secondary in terms of they were covering pretty well. So we took advantage where they gave it to us.
Before I move on and talk to them about their individual performances, how about Matthew Boyd scoring his first
I was real happy about that. We've been running that sting route all year long, and he had ran it perfectly, got past the linebackers, and then he started drifting, getting depth, and nobody accounted for him, which is kind of because he did that perfectly. He snuck between linebackers, got depth, and Thomas saw him, threw it back in the end zone for a touchdown. And he actually got kind of the same route. He ran a shallow route on another play and got us about 24 yards on a pivotal first down to get us into the red zone. And that was one of his other rushing touchdowns, but got us down there in the red zone.
Thomas, got to move forward and talk to you, because when you score 4 total touchdowns on the night, I mean, it's a great night overall. There's not many more nights you can get that are better than that. You have 13-yard rushing touchdown, a 64-yard rushing touchdown, a 9-yard rushing touchdown, and then you had that passing touchdown to Matthew Boyd. 166 total yards of offense out of the 232 that you had. What went well that night for you? Was it just everything seemed like it was just easier for you out there in Stony Creek? What was it?
Yeah, I mean, definitely going into practice all week, progressing. I mean, you know that you're not going to see the same thing every week with different teams, so you really just got to give what they take you, and that's the thing that I've really learned playing football just in general, is that you're not going to see the same thing every week, and that you just got to prepare during the week for what teams are going to give you and just take what they give you.
When we were in Starnes Barber shop, we talked about the growth that he's had throughout his high school career so far as a leader, and it's really paying off down the stretch here now as you're setting up for arguably the 2 most important weeks in North Greene high school football history. And with him as a leader and with you playing the way you're playing right now, leading your team forward into these last 2 games, What's the excitement like in the locker room for you as the quarterback and the leader of the team?
It's amazing. I mean, you can tell that the atmosphere in the locker room has definitely changed from the past 2 years that I've been here especially. I feel like our chemistry in the locker room and outside of the field is at an all-time high, and even on the field it's great. I mean, you know that you've definitely felt a difference from the past couple of years.
And I know as a quarterback, too, when you're leading the team, it's also easy to hand the ball off knowing that you've got the comfort of handing it off to him.
Yeah.
Who we talked to him last year about having the most career rushing yards in North Greene as a junior, and now he's just piling onto that as a senior now. Scored another touchdown on the night, had a great pick six also. What went well for you during the game against Unaka also?
Well, I prepared myself throughout the week. So did the whole team, you know. After the Eagleton game, you know, I was like, all right, we're getting close to the end. I'm going to have to step up my game more. You know, I'm trying to go every game, trying to be successful as I can be, you know. But, I mean, having one of the best quarterbacks in the region, too, it makes it easier for me. So.
Talk about the pick six play, because we come in here every week. We talk about the total tackles, the tackle for losses, just how much of a force you are on defense. Very rarely, I don't know if we've ever talked about him having an interception, much less a pick six, but whenever that ball landed in your arms, you were able to house it for six. Talk about that play.
Oh, well, Braden came up on the quarterback. You know, he did what he was supposed to do, and then I wasn't expecting the quarterback to throw it, but he just did, and I was like, all right, I'm about to go reach out and go get this pick six real quick. And that's exactly what happened, you know. That was my first career pick six, so that felt great.
That's awesome, man. We got to talk about our boy Juan Soto.
What about Juan?
I mean, another perfect night of extra points, a 21-yard field goal also. I don't know how many he's up to now consecutively when it comes to extra points.
Let's see. 17.
17 consecutive and counting. That's the best part about it. But another great night by him. Once you finally got him on the field to kick those extra points and field goals, it seems like it's paid off, and you kind of breathe a little easier knowing that you don't have to go for two every time now. But was this his first or second career field goal that he kicked?
First
career field goal also, so even better. Talk about Juan and just his progression so far throughout this season. I know we've talked about it a few times, but, man, he just keeps getting better and better each week, it seems.
I don't know about progression. He can just boot the ball for sure. He's gotten a lot better on kickoffs. And he's starting to understand a little bit more English, so we can actually tell him a direction which way to kick it.
Even better.
But it does crack me up when the officials try to talk to him, because we had to look. It was like, hey, one of you other players take care of that for us. But he's pretty funny when he goes out for PAT, is because he'll look at our holder Duffy, and he'll be like, he'll count the next one and be like, okay, 17. And before he kicks it, and he's just extremely confident as he goes out there. And then our field goal protection all night was pretty good because they were getting after the kick, and we did a good job of protection as well. And then also there's another part of that unit, which is long snapper and holder, and Dash Stiggins, our long snapper, has been doing a good job, and Duffy is about one of the better holders you could ask for because he can about catch anything.
That was another player I wanted to talk about before we went into the break, is we don't have a lot of stats to talk about when it comes to Duffy, but he's always, I don't know the word to use, but I mean, he's always reliable when he's out there, whether you want him to hold the snaps, whether he's out there for just a quick catch to get you a little closer to the line to gain, or whether it's that interception that was called back. Talk about Duffy and how much he made a difference on Friday night in Stony Creek.
I mean, he's kind of like the quarterback of our defense. So he gets everybody lined up, and it's one of those nights that our front did their job. And when our safeties aren't having to do a whole lot, that's a pretty good day for us. But he has that pick, and he made the play on it. We just had some extracurricular there towards quarterback. But he made the plays where he's supposed to be. And then offensively, he showed up in some crucial situations because we had a third and long situation, and he's able to take a quick flat route on play action and take it and get the first down. That's something that's really nice to have, especially as a quarterback when you have an outlet.
Yeah.
When you're feeling pressure pretty mean, you can dump it down there, and then he takes care of the rest of it.
And I know we talked about your offensive line, going back to that real quick. I want to see if I can make a joke about this, where you said you had great protection all night. It seemed like he was 5-6 yards down the field before his first point of contact. Did you have to wash his jersey at all?
No, not really.
Did you have any grass stain on your jersey at all the other night?
I don't think I had a single speck of grass on my jersey.
I mean, it seemed like he couldn't the way he was running the ball the other night, and like you talked about, not much went to the safeties the other night on defense also, and it seemed like a great win overall, 44-6 over Unaka, sets you up for now a big game against Cloudland going down the stretch, a game now that the past few years you've really not been able to go into it and say we have an opportunity to win this game, and you do now as you travel up to Roan Mountain to play them this upcoming week. Before we go into that, though, we need to get a break in as always, so we'll be right back in just a minute after a word from our sponsors here on Grassroots Media.
My name is Robert Starnes. I'm a lifelong resident of North Greene County, where I currently reside here with my wife and 3 children. I was a barber in Greenville for the last 6 years, but I have recently changed locations to my new shop in Baileyton. It's at 285 Mortis Hollow Lane, Afton. I'm also a proud supporter of North Greene Athletics. Come see me for all of your men and boys grooming needs. Go Huskies!
Baileyton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Baileyton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Baileyton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts? The Davy Crockett Travel Center in Baileyton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Baileyton.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber, where we cover everything on the Tundra with the North Greene Huskies football team. As always, I'm joined here with just head coach Eric Tilson this time. So you got the big game this week.
Yeah, big one.
A little jittery, a little excited now because you've got Cloudland up this week. You travel up to Roan Mountain to play them in Carter County, and like I mentioned before the break, for the first time in a long time, you can now go up there and say that you have the opportunity to beat Cloudland, and it's a winnable game. So when you go up there on Friday night, how do you plan to do it to get the job done?
Well, they are still what they've always have been.
Yeah.
They're a very physical team, and they lost a heartbreaker on Friday. They actually were down 7, and they go back and score, and they failed the 2-point conversion to win it. So that we could be sitting here talking about like Cloudland still being what they've been. So it's funny how games will turn out like that, like just 1 or 2 play difference. And so they are who they've always been, a real physical football team. They play hard, and they've got some real big-time playmakers, especially in their backfield. And they seem very simple on the surface, but they put themselves in good positions. They scheme a lot more than what people give them credit for, and they do a really good job. They're, especially with the numbers that they have, they're always competitive, which is something to be admired. And I've got a lot of respect for their program, their kids, and it's kind of funny. I think our kids are very similar in terms of type of people, and so I've got a lot of admiration for them, and myself, Coach Benfield, we're pretty good friends. So it's and then come Friday night, go compete, and then he'll give the shirt off your back. So definitely enjoy these type of games, because this is why you get into coaching. This is why you play football, is for opportunities like this. And we can't really say we've been in this opportunity since we've been here, and we've worked to get to this point. So every player that has been here over the past 4 years, everybody who's had a mark on this program has contributed to the point where we have the opportunity to say that we can go in and play this game late in October and play a meaningful game, which has been the goal, to have meaningful games in late October, and we're at this point.
And it's something that I failed to mention in the first half. We talked about how the game against Cloudland serves as the opportunity to host a region game or a playoff game for the first time since 2011, which is 13 years. The opportunity to tie the single-season win mark with 6 and then potentially surpass it against Cosby next week. And then you have the opportunity, I can't remember what the other one was off the top of my head right now. Win a region championship. Yep. How could I forget that? We won't mention that too much, but the one that we left off the table and didn't talk about is the fact that the win over Unaka is the 99th win in North Greene's history. So this one against Cloudland has the opportunity to break that century mark and get to 100. So how special would that be to break that century mark against such a marquee opponent in Cloudland?
It would mean a lot, and it does mean a lot because especially when the opportunity, and we couldn't draw it up any better. And because like when you're at this point in the year, it don't mean a whole lot to beat a team that you're supposed to beat late in the year to like achieve your goals. You want to step up to those teams that are competing very well. I couldn't be more happy that Cosby's done what they've done. Coach Cooper's done a great job down there, and that's a great opportunity late in the year. And then Coach Benfield's done a great job since he's been there. They've been the marquee program for the past decade. So you wouldn't ask for 2 better games to have to win to achieve your goals than the last 2 ones. And it's funny how it all works out. And to be at this point and like, okay, you want to be region champions. You want to be the top dogs. Well, now it's time to do it against the top dogs. Yeah. So it's put up time, and that I mean, as a competitor, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it, about that opportunity, and this is why we're doing it. And I've been having a smile on my face all week. I mean, we are absolutely excited about going out and playing this game.
And it's like you mentioned, it's kind of like a movie script. You almost couldn't write a movie script better than this, too, where it comes down to the wire like this, and you still have the other 2 best teams in the region still left on your schedule. And before we look ahead too much to some of those things, of course, you've got Friday night at hand still. You've got Cloudland. Cloudland's still that type of bruising running team that we've expected. So do you still expect that same type of offense whenever you step on the field on Friday night?
So there's no question about it. They got a 2-headed monster in the backfield. I mean, they rushed for over 300 yards Friday night. And, again, they come right at you, and they get right off tackle, and they'll run their double ISO, and they'll try some shot plays. It's like they were probably should have won that ball game Friday, and they didn't complete a pass. So they don't have to. So we have to ask the task. Our front has to do a great job, and we have to tackle well. And it's going to come down to that. We'll have an opportunity to try to take some shots on offense, and we got to play well up front. And it's we've got a hard task for our front to take care of, and really challenge them to really step up to this opportunity. And I coach both of them. So offense, defense line. So again, this is why you go into play. So our front's excited. We're excited to be able to go compete against a good defense, and a good offensive front.
We had your dynamic duo of Yeshua, Vaught, and Thomas Darnell on the show to begin with, but there's a lot of other weapons you have out there on offense, too. You have Braden and Brandon Weems. You have Jake Duffy. Matthew Boyd just caught his first career touchdown this past week. And you've had Kelson Estep, who has also caught a touchdown or 2 this year. So what do you expect them to do on defense to kind of slow your dynamic offense down a little bit?
We've seen them do a few different things. They're primarily in a lot of man coverage. Okay. And they'll try to stack the box quite a bit. That's primarily what they've done most of the year. They thrown a little bit different looks out versus Cosby with some 2 safety structures. So it's going to have to be one of those games where we got to find some formations and got to find some ways to kind of force their hand and to kind of get what we want and then take advantage of what they are giving us. So we're going to have to execute. But again, if we don't execute, then why are you playing football?
Yeah.
So it's like you want to have to go execute to go win a region title. You want to have to go execute because you just don't want it handed to you. And they're not going to. They're going to be fired up this week because we don't have to motivate anybody on either side about this game. So it's definitely an exciting opportunity.
It's got that big fight feel to it. It's got that
That's
big
a
game feel
heavyweight
to it.
matchup.
Yes,
Let's
it
roll.
will be on Friday night. But as always, too, end of every interview, you've got 3 keys to the game that you've got to carry out to get wins on Friday night. You've got arguably the biggest game in a long time in North Greene's program history on Friday night. What are your 3 keys to the game? We
got to have great effort, especially on defense and up front. We have to tackle well. Great tackling, and playmakers want to step up and make plays.
That's how you win ball games right there,
No
and
doubt.
it's worked many, many times this year. Looking to add a few more wins to the column, too, and add the 100th win to North Greene's program history on Friday night up there on Roan Mountain. But, Coach, that's all I've got for you this week. Thank you once again. It's been a pleasure to sit back down at the round table. We had a few guests with us this week, too.
Yeah, that was exciting.
It was. Good to see them on the show also. Hopefully get a few more Huskies on the show also. But that's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Baileyton Drug Company Eric Tilson Show, presented by Starnes Barber. We look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.